So see if you can make a comment that YouTube didn't want me streaming on channel. Okay, saying you're live. Okay, I really went back to my... Oh yeah, I don't see me.
Don't see you still?
Yeah, it looks like someone is... But good morning.
Hello. Trying to get this set up, having technical difficulties.
Can someone hear me? On the YouTube live?
Well, if you guys can't hear him, I'm going to put him on the camera so you guys can at least see him. Introduce himself. We're going to try and just interview. I'm going to go ahead and just go back and forth on a camera view since I can't get it figured out. So when I speak, I guess I'll just transfer the camera to myself. And then when you speak, I'll transfer the camera back to you. Just so until we figure out something going on. Figure out a better way to stream. Maybe find a new software. This one don't seem too easy and friendly to use. But I go by the Lost Entrepreneur. If you guys are tuning into this live, basically I'm joined with Cosmos Graphics. He's basically another YouTuber, another t-shirt business entrepreneur, and we're just going to go ahead and let him talk and see what else he has to say about himself and just introduce himself.
How's everybody going? How's graphics? I started my YouTube journal back in 2021. I just did it to EasyPress 2, MugPress for my first equipment. Just started going from there. And just learning everything I could. Figuring out exactly what I want to do with this business and what my goal is. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, but I'm getting there. And I just recently purchased a digital heat printer from my buddy, and we're trying to learn aspects and just want to come out here, introduce myself, and just talk about t-shirts.
Yeah, so I just had a couple questions lined up that I just been wanting to ask you, and I watched your video the other day, and one thing that you said that really stuck with me is you were talking about walking through the fog and how as soon as you turn around you can basically everywhere you walk to, everywhere you've been, everything you've done, but when you look back forward everything's still foggy. So when your business is not going so good, is not the best, you start losing hope, how do you control your emotions? How do you gather everything and continue pushing forward?
Well, that metaphor is basically like walking in the unknown. Because I rather walk in the unknown, which is just easier to jump into it. Being smart, I was but at the same time, just walking into that fog is just on you because success is become easy, and not everybody has that courage and willpower to basically go from point A to B.
Yeah,
and you come across a whole bunch of entrepreneurs on your journey. And they take different paths, different ways, but in the end of the day, strong enough to continue your journey. Are you going to give up and walk back, or are you going to move forward?
I like that answer. Now, I've been in the t-shirt business about a year now, year and a half. I've been pushing locally, haven't really been going online and stuff, and I noticed that you just said you're about to take that next step to going online, and for a lot of people that's a major step. And one thing I know a lot of people deal with that not a lot of people are aware of is just anxiety of people having the fear of what's going to happen if they take that step, of what's the aftermath. Like, you take that first step doing your business, is it going to work out, is it not? Everybody has everything going through their head. But how are you able to, I guess, put together your business and time frame? What's your goals like you had when you first started till now? Did you have an outline of, I'm going to have a heat press by this month? Or like, how did you go about your process of getting basically your equipment and everything together for your t-shirt business?
Well, basically, when I first started, I had no idea what was out there. When I first started, I didn't know what sublimation was. I didn't know, the printer I had back here existed. I didn't know what TFG was. I knew what screen printing was, but I thought like substitution was like the heat transfer paper. So I had to learn all that. And I was smart with my money. I took about a lot of home. I was able to pay them off as soon as I could. That's why I broke from the beginning. That's why I was able to get like quickly in my first 4 months.
Yeah.
And when it came to I like my cricket, I like the vinyl, but when you're doing a whole bunch of shit, it just takes too much time. And when I found out about like FPG or Turner, that was something that I wanted best. I just kept learning stuff. The aspect of it, I heard Ubers. There's actually YouTube, I'm not sure where you see it. Now I'm following him is Basement 215. And he does t-shirts in his basement. And he has an Etsy shop. So when I started watching him, kept giving me motivation as well to keep going on.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, one thing a lot of people starting in the t-shirt business or any business in general, doing that research is very important. Just like you said, you found another YouTuber. A lot of things, people when they first starting off, they feel like they're in competition with each other. Like they have to be the best. You can want to be the best, but your brother can be the best with you. You guys can both be at that same level, be at that same thing, and have success and not clash with each other. That's building a team, building just like a connection, and later on in life, all these connections you may find, you may actually find that friend or whatever you may need later on down. How do you feel about building connections with people you meet? How do you build your connections? How do you meet that person and kind of just get that first step to introduce them to Cosmo Graphics and let them know what you're about?
Well, one of my favorite sayings, so like they have that meeting, you don't know. For example, my boss was a friend of mine. When I found the t-shirt, it wasn't like I was also him, I kept him for advice. Going to him like, what do I do? He gave me some advice. And he's going to me about that printer. I was going to be helpful. When I meet people kind of do what I'm doing, I'm not jealous, and I want to be happy with their success and they're doing what they're doing, and we can all help each other out. Because you never know how about if I'm doing a bunch of shirts, and I just someone's doing shirts, I'm like, hey, I have this feature, I need help, you want to get paid, and I want to do that as well, You'd like to look at that, okay, I have this restaurant, for example, can you press some shirts for me? Yeah, sure, So that's why I put the build communications and that thing, because you never know if that person can lead people at their door. And that's how I look at it.
I like that. And, you know, since starting my t-shirt business, before when I had a 9 to 5 and I was working and all that, like, it's different when you own your own business, because at a 9 to 5, you go in for that 8 hours, you clock in, you clock out, and that's it. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to, if the coolers break down, if something breaks down, honestly, you clocked out, is not your problem. With your business, it's running 24/7. So even though you aren't there, your business is still running. So if something goes down, you got to be up and ready. So how do you handle, like, just the pressure of being a business owner, being knowing that if something goes wrong, you are solely responsible? Because a lot of people understand that having a t-shirt business or any business at all is a lot of work, and just putting the dedication and time to splitting it with your family, with personal time. How do you go about doing stuff like that?
Well, speaking about like the when you said something breaks down, that's how I have to practice. For example, let's say my StarCraft over here breaks down. I know I got my Easy Press. I know I got my 15 by 15 clamshell, and just trying to balance everything. And that's what this business taught me. Just balancing, helped me manage my money a lot more. So I was able to basically, learn all that when I was learning the t-shirt business. It wasn't just learning the t-shirt business, but I was learning everything else in between. And I was able to basically figure out, okay, what's the best time I want to do shirts if I do get a clientele. And obviously, the more clientele, the more I'm going to be busy, but just trying to balance that out and trying to make sure everything is working order, trying to make sure everything I do is coming out good. Usually when I do shirts and I'm trying something out new, I'll put my own test shirts in the washing just to make sure. And that's the thing with this printer. I've had some problems because it recommends a different heat press, and I had to figure out how to use my heat press to basically apply, that new concept I have, the new way of me pressing shirts for like my Etsy shopping and things like that. So I'm always learning, always trying to figure things out, and I learned not to have anxiety. That's the whole point of that count. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna run into parts where it's gonna be so foggy, but do you have the willpower to get past that, or are you just gonna turn around and go back and just give up?
Yeah, I really like that when you say, are you just going to turn around when stuff like starts going bad or anything like that. And like, when I heard that, it really motivated me, because at that time when I was listening to it, I was sitting there, how you go through them times when you're like, all right, I did a lot and I still have to do a lot. Like, I'm tired, like I still have to keep going, there's all this stuff I have to do. And then you're looking for that motivation to keep you going, that thing that's striving you to succeed. And for me, that's my wife, that's my family. Just knowing I don't want to struggle for the rest of my life, like working a 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck. That's not what I want to do. I want to actually have time to spend with my family, with my business. Just put it all towards me. Just do something for myself instead of putting all my time towards 9 to 5. Now, my question is, how do you feel about a 9 to 5 and how it can help your business or anything like that? Do you think it's good to put your time into a 9 to 5, or should you just try and start off as a t-shirt or whatever business right off the bat?
All right, so I said in past videos, and one of my favorite rappers, Jay-Z, my first album he did was one of my best albums. My favorite song he did was "The Evil," and he said in that, 9 to 5 is how you survive. I'm not trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it a lot. I'm not sure if I said it verbatim, but basically, um, when you're an entrepreneur, you know what he's talking about. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 and surviving every time, and I want to live life because you can only live it one time. And sometimes you gotta work on 9 to 5 to get out of your 9 to 5, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Every money I have that I can bring my business, I'm gonna bring to my business. I'm not really going out as much anymore. I don't really buy things. Like I'm okay with what I have. I just need to invest it into my business because you never know. I had like a full-time job not too long ago and they didn't need me no more. It wasn't something I did. It was just, they just changed their mind basically. So you never know what's gonna happen to your 9 to 5. I've seen people with degrees get laid off because the company they're working for didn't need them anymore. There was another rapper that said he's seen, like one of the quotes, he's seen dropout millionaires and homeless scholars, and that stuck with me because name me 5 billionaires that graduated college. Now I'm not saying I'm going to be a billionaire doing this, but the point what I'm trying to say is that name me 5 billionaires that went to college. I mean, Bill Gates dropped out, Mark Zuckerberg dropped out, and it's just about you working for yourself. They don't teach you that in college. They don't teach you that in school. You know what I mean? So you just it's easy to get money, but you got to put the work and dedication. It's easy just to go clock in and get paid every hour versus you winning that work. But, there was opportunities where I was able to get a PS5, at least 10 times, where I was able to buy a PlayStation 5, but I didn't because a PlayStation 5 isn't going to pay my bills. And I really want to get a PS5, but then what's that going to do for me? Absolutely nothing, My entertainment now is learning my business and doing shirts, doing different style shirts, which I'll show you guys in a moment over here, things that I'm working on, and that's what my excitement is now.
I like that you basically said that, yeah, basically anything you see like PS5, anything like that, you're not really looking to buy anything like that. You're not looking to invest your money into that. And as a business, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Now, on that note, there is certain points when I believe you should invest your money if you see a flipping opportunity. Let's say somebody's getting rid of a PS5 and they're getting rid of it for it cheap and you're able to flip it. That is a different thing if you're not planning on keeping it. So
I used to buy and resell, yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So I used to buy and resell, so I mean, I've been doing that since 2014. Going to like thrift stores, what are they called? Flea markets, estate sales, even Facebook. So that's what really got me into being an entrepreneur, is buying and reselling.
Alright, so you said you wanted to show us some stuff you were working on. So I'm kind of excited to see what you've been working on. And
well, yeah, I'll have 2 shirts right now. Yeah. So, and I wanted to talk about just the learning process. So I did these shirts. All I had was extra large, and I did these right over here. So I did this one, and I found out with my heat pressure, again, I had to figure out the setting for my heat pressure because they recommend a different heat pressure for this type of pressing. So I had to go back. So I put this in in the washing, and basically it looked like it was kind of like messing up like this shirt right over here. Now this shirt I had it for a while. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but it's already kind of messing up. So this is like the same material, and this is like a Funko Pop shirt. and it's basically the same material, but this took like over 50 washes to get to this point, and I wanted to make sure. So I've learned to adjust my pressure on the third pressing. Because to do this shirt, you need to press it 3 times. The first time you gotta apply the ink to the adhesive, then you press it to the shirt, and then you're supposed to press it a third time to seal the work onto the t-shirt. And then I was able to do it with this one, and I was able to kind of figure out that formula. So I did this shirt over here, and I was able to figure out that formula. I hope you guys are seeing it.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, you guys see it? Is it good? Coming on good?
Yeah, we can see it over here.
Yeah, okay. So I was able to do that. There's 100% cotton right here. And once I figured it out, I was pretty excited. That was the whole point of the fog. So when I was having a problem, I went through a time to where it was so thick, but am I going to give up or am I not going to give up? So it took me, 2.5 days to figure this out. And I was able to pass through that fog and that thickness. But there's always fog, but it can be lighter, it can be thick, and once you reach that part where it's so thick, it's just setbacks, a little bit setbacks. And are you going to give up or are you not going to give up? And I learned not to give up. I learned to keep going. I got married 4 months ago, and I'm not going to give up on my family. I'm not going to give up on my wife. So I need this. It's not like I want it. I need it. And that's why I got to keep pushing. I got to keep pushing myself to do better and to be better.
That's dope. I like everything you are trying to stand for, everything you're pushing to be, and family is definitely most important. And nobody wants to have to struggle in life, but sadly, in reality, in the world we live in, some people just aren't in the best situation or have the best opportunity. But luckily, we're in a position to spread messages for people who aren't as fortunate as us and don't have as much as us, and just give them basically a walkway or a pathway to help them get to where we're trying to go as well, so they have a better understanding. Now, before you started your t-shirt business and you started designing all this stuff and you've seen all these printers, I'm kind of interested in who were you looking at other than myself, like what other YouTube channels? Because myself, when I started in the t-shirt business, I found that t-shirt Side Hustle and Hustle Ninjas were a couple channels that I kept going back and forth to. And one thing I did myself was, because I was trying to get started on YouTube, I went back to their very first videos that they ever created and ever posted, so I can see the quality of their videos of what it was at first and then what it was they're at now, because they started a while ago, and like other YouTubers, they started a long time ago too. And just seeing that growth and the change, it showed me that starting my stuff early, I can actually go and build instead of just trying to have a whole picture. I can actually paint the picture and not just buy the picture at first. I can actually build it myself and have it the way I want it instead of having a preset thing. So one thing, who are you looking up to?
Well, like I said, I was doing buying and reselling, so I was watching a whole bunch of flippers, buying and reselling, what to look for if I go to, let's say, Goodwill or estate sales, learning how to negotiate, how to deal with people. So, I still kind of do it, but I don't do it as heavy. But when I need extra income, I always like selling online, but I want my own brand. And the funny thing is, what really got me into the t-shirt business back in 2017, one of my buddies, so his brother designs these, that's what really got me into the mugs. So he'll design mugs and he'll send them out to these companies. I forgot the website, but you can find companies like all over the world. And he found a company in China just before, the COVID thing, and he would order so much mugs, but I've already supplemented on the mugs, and he would sell them. So I had a few designs made because I kind of wanted to do that, and I had an LLC as well, which I still have it, which I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But I had all these designs that I paid a lot of money for. But at that time, I didn't have the mentality that I have now. So I wasn't willing to put the money into that business. And when I was doing buying and reselling, I wanted to do something with those designs. So I found websites that I can connect my eBay store to, and it's kind of like print on demand. So if, let's say, I had someone from California, they would know that it's coming from California. If, let's say, I had someone from Florida, they know it's coming from Florida. Someone from Arizona, you know. But when I tried doing that on my Etsy at the time, they were saying that I was making it, and I had to find all the information for those companies, basically, and I had to like do it. And I was like, man, that's just too much work, you know. And like, for example, on eBay, let's say they ran out of this color shirt, automatic they'll update it on my eBay. But on my Etsy, I would have to keep going back, figure out, okay, are they out of this size? Are they out of this color? And that's what really got me into looking at heat presses and doing it for myself, and kind of doing heavily buying and reselling to doing t-shirts.
I like that. Now, I got a couple of people in the comments that are dropping some questions. We're going to go with the first one. Somebody asked if what you were using is DTF. Can you explain to them what the print on your shirt is?
It's white ink toner printer, so it's not DTF. I think it's a little bit older. So this right here, I mean, I did some videos. So you know what? Let me go back.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. So while he's gonna go check, I'm gonna switch back over. Hope you guys are enjoying the live. Let him get set up. And as far as that other question, no, you don't need a YouTube to get started on a t-shirt business. You don't need a YouTube to even do it. But also, you got to remember, you also don't have to show your face. So even though you do have a YouTube, or if you were thinking about doing it, you don't have to put yourself on camera. You can just show your hands, you can just show the product, and just film it that way and do it that way. You don't have to personally show your face or anything like that, because I know a lot of people are self-conscious and a lot of people don't want to show themselves on camera. But trust me, people see you and you're being seen. So don't let anybody think you're not being seen. But you guys are awesome. You ready over there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready. Alright, so the way this printer works, you print the design. This is called a film. Then once you print it out, this is the adhesive right over here. So you got the marking. So basically what you do is that you put the part that's mirrored over here. Then you press this. Now, this is where, so this company right here, they recommend the Fusion heat press. So I'm kind of thinking about it. And what I'm looking at is almost $3,000. And because this thing I can do way too, like I can just do more than just shirts. You know, I can convert it to a sublimation printer. I can convert it to a regular printer and always convert it back. There's so much you can do with it. So that's the reason why I'm kind of thinking about investing into that heat press. But for this, the way I do it on my StarCraft heat press, you guys see back there, I do it for 313 at 120 seconds. And then you peel it out quickly. This is going to be a hot peel. So once you do that and you get it right, you'll see the white backing on the back of your image. Then you press it onto your shirt for the same temperature, but for 30 seconds. I usually do 33 seconds now. And that would be a very cold peel. So once it gets cooled down, you remove it, and it'll be on here. Then you're supposed to put parchment paper and press it for 20 seconds for it to fuse into the shirt. And that's how you do it. You're supposed to press it 3 times. Now it is a lot faster than if I'm doing just vinyl, but if you're gonna get into this and you don't have the heat press that they recommend, you just got to keep playing around with it. The paper is not cheap. It costs about $2.20, and I wasted almost $100 to try to perfect it. And to me, that was a waste of money because I was able to gain the knowledge. But when you're working for yourself, get ready to spend a lot of money. Get ready to spend a lot of hidden costs that you wouldn't think that you're going to spend, that you're going to end up spending it. But that's the cost of doing business. That's the cost of success. And these millionaires that that worked, their butt off to achieve where they were at. Like Elon Musk. Even though he was a millionaire before he had Tesla, but he had 100, I believe it was like 80 million, and basically he risked $180 million. He could have gotten rich or went completely broke, and now he's the richest person in the world. You just got to keep, on investing in yourself. And I'm not saying to just buy, randomly. You got to do your research, but if you're not willing to put the money, if you're not willing for those hidden costs, then that's how your business is going to fail. And I've seen that happen because people don't want to put money anymore into their business.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely putting money into your business is something that people don't look into the future. They think that these businesses that are already out kind of just been like that. They just were like Nike and all that stuff. If you see the very first shoes and everything that they created, it doesn't look nothing like they have right now. Everything starts from an idea. Everything starts from a vision, and that's where it comes to. You brought up Elon Musk. There was literally a point in Tesla where he was about to go bankrupt, and I don't know exactly what he did, but what he did made that company what it is now. If he wouldn't have done what he did at that time, then it wouldn't have succeeded. But
he wouldn't be a millionaire.
Yeah, the sacrifices you make for your business is going to pay off no matter what. So putting that money into it, and it may feel like a loss at first because you don't have that money, but the same thought process I have is if I put it into something that can possibly bring a return, then I will see it eventually. So the upfront cost for me, I don't really pay attention to. I look into the future of how much it can bring. Is it going to make my job easier? Because just like on YouTube, I have a bunch of subscriptions that making YouTube easier as far as Canva and other things, just to go across platforms and make spreading messages easier. So finding that software is definitely a thing that's hard for people trying to start a business. Now, are you a graphic designer? Are you designing your own stuff? Are you buying designs from somebody? Like, how are you finding designs for your t-shirt business? Because a lot of people don't know how to create a design or even like do anything like that, but you don't need to. But I'll let you explain how you came about and how your graphics and stuff are coming to fruition.
So, no, I'm not a graphic designer. I mean, I've worked with Photoshop. My logo, for example, I hired someone to do it. It cost, I think, with everything in the commercial, about $200. But again, there's all those like hidden costs. But how I'm finding my graphics, like this right here, and this is where you guys got to be careful if you guys are getting into this. So this right here, I got it from a website. And this website, sometimes they give out free designs. Like I bought this whole Halloween pack. I think it was like $600 and they were giving it for free. Now if you go on those websites, and I bought designs as well. I think I bought this one right here for me to, sell. Now this is where you gotta do your homework and be careful. Where I get my designs, I don't get it from Etsy because Etsy, the seller may not own full rights, especially like if they're selling Disney stuff. On those websites, you gotta read the copyright license. So does it have a commercial license or do you have to pay that separate? For example, with this design over here, I'm able to sell 1,000 of it, and it's okay because it's under that commercial licensing. So this one right here, if I let's say sold this, right, and I sold, let's say, 500 plus units, I got to get a different licensing, and that's going to cost me $300. On that website, depending on the artist, it can range anywhere from three to even thousands of dollars, depending on the licensings and things like that. So you guys got to really be careful, because the last thing you guys don't want is having them come after your business and getting money from you. Because I've joined a lot of Facebook groups, and especially with like the Nightmare Before Christmas, Disney, doesn't matter how big or small you are, they're going to come after you. And a lot of these small businesses go under because next thing you know, they owe $30,000 because they're doing a lot of copyrighted stuff. They didn't read the licensing. You can't just go get an image. I can't sell this because I'm going to get sued, from Funko and, whoever owns this, I'm going to get sued. So you got to be careful, because sometimes when you do buy an image, it can be for personal use. But if you're going to be selling it, you got to really read the fine print, because if I didn't read the fine print in this, I wouldn't have known about the 500 units, and I could be selling thousands and thousands, and then next thing I know, I'm getting served papers, and I owe a lot more than what I sold. So you really got to be careful when you do get designs. And the reason why I'm saying Etsy, make sure that whoever is selling the artwork, it's the actual artist, and they have copyright or commercial license attached with the art. But if, let's say, you go and buy something, let's say Disney on Etsy, let's say someone decides just to, draw Mickey Mouse in a different way or something, put them in a different, it's still copyrighted by Disney. Even if you pay for it on Etsy, you're gonna still get copyrighted. And trust me, you don't want Disney coming after you, because Disney would come after you. So you really gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, definitely. That's why when I first got started into this t-shirt business, I wasn't really looking to find like any designs online. I kind of create my own stuff. This one I have right here, I don't know if you guys can kind of see it.
I can
This
see it.
one, actually, I found a guy on Instagram through a friend called Bear Prince. He has somebody he had a design made, and I hit him up and was like, hey, I like that shirt you just had made. I seen your video. I was like, who made it? And then he just sent me the guy, and then from there I paid for the guy to do the graphic design, and he made this. Is a LaMelo Ball shirt, because he's one of my favorite basketball players. And the same thing as you were saying, copyright is a major thing, especially for NBA. Anything that has to do with sports teams, anything like that, you have to make sure that you're not directly copying them. So this image I have here, you can't technically see, but there's a bunch of layers that make him look a different way. There's different shades, different things. So technically, even though this is a image like this, it is my own image, my own design, my own thing. So I am able to print this out. I am not selling it for resale. This is my own personal image. But I can design something for personal use and make it myself and not sell it. Now, how do you feel about, because I know you're in a bunch of Facebook groups as well and stuff like that. How do you feel about seeing people push the message of the copywriting and all that stuff? Like, do you think people should stay away from it, or should they just try and create their own designs? Because another thing I use is Canva as well. That's a free platform to create designs, and they already have over 1,000 designs. You just have to pay for a subscription to use it. But some of them is also free. They're not the best, but if you're creative, you can make something out of it. Is there any apps or anything you use like that?
I used to use that as well. I kind of still do, but since I got that printer, it was just easier for me to buy designs and don't have to worry about like layering no more and things like that. But even if you're thinking you're creating your own design, you still got to be careful. Like I said, let's take Disney. You can be a great artist and you can just draw Mickey Mouse. In, let's say, Mickey Mouse with Mario, for example. Let's say you drew Mickey Mouse and Mario and like a nice scenery. Now you got Disney and now you got Nintendo. Even though you drew that, even though it's your technically your own original artwork, that is still copyrighted. So you got to be careful not to um, copy other characters and things like that, because, like, for example, I can't come up with Coca-Cola and just change the C to a K and say Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola will come after me. You know what I mean? So you really got to be careful when it comes to that. And a lot of people that get into this business, they just want to make money. So they find any image they put online, they're making money, and next thing you know, they're owning thousands and thousands of dollars. We're not talking $1,000, $2,000. Some of these people are being fined 30+ thousand. I mean, I've seen people that got fined over $100,000 because of the whole copyright thing. So you got to really be careful. Just go on those websites that have the commercial licensings for it. But Disney, I don't care how much you spend on files. Again, Disney, you want to stay away from Disney if you're planning on making it into your own. If you're planning on selling that. Now, for personal use, that's different. I'm not gonna say it's allowed because I don't know, but for selling it, yeah, you just got to be careful, especially if you're thinking you're creating your own design. If it's the copy of a character, you can make a character that looks like Iron Man, and it looks very close to Iron Man. You can get in trouble from, I think, Fox owns that now. So you really got to be careful. Even though you think it's your own, it can still be copy. It can still be a copy of a character.
Definitely, and that copyright stuff ain't nothing to play with, because they will come after you. And honestly, these lawsuits are what makes and breaks companies, not only just small businesses, but bigger companies as well. I've seen a couple.
I'm sorry. Let me add this. Even
Go ahead.
fonts, you gotta be careful too. I'm sorry. I just remembered. Even fonts. There's a website that I have to pay licensing so I can use the fonts. Now you can buy these fonts directly, but some of these fonts you're looking at over 100,000. Someone can even probably go for millions, depending. You cannot copy fonts as well. For example, I can't copy a Disney font. I can't make my Cosmo graphics in the Disney font, because Disney, that's still copyright. So you really got to be careful even with the font when you're going on these websites. There's a website that I go on. It's, if you don't pay for the licensing, you can use it for personal. They allow you to do that. But if you're gonna start using that font for your business, you have to pay every month a certain licensing. Or if you want to buy the rights to that font, you gotta contact the what's it called, the artist of that font, and pay, depending on how much they want to sell it for. But usually, it's easier, obviously, to pay every month for the licensing to use those fonts, to keep that licensing. So you really gotta be careful on fonts as well.
Yeah, definitely. Fonts is very important. Basically, anything you put that you're going to try and resell, it can't look at all of anything that resembles a company or anything. That's why music artists have such a hard time producing music and doing anything like that, because that's a area where basically a lot has been done. Like, so much stuff has been done that they have to, if they create a song and it sounds even one similar sound or drum or anything that's used in a different song, they can come after them. So just basically getting that proper licensing and making sure you are able to use it commercial use. There's also some sites, like I see on some sites, they give you like personal use. You're able to use it for maybe like 500, like not too many amount, but you can use a certain amount of it and not reach that limit. But the commercial use is basically unlimited use. You can resell it and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't know where to find websites like that and just basically find information. Now, me and you, we look at other YouTubers, so we're kind of finding our information that way. And I want everybody to be able to follow you after this live. So just for, again, I just want you to drop your information of where they can find you, your Instagram, TikTok, or whatever you have.
Right now, I do have a TikTok, which I still need to get back into it. But let me just drop my YouTube right now, right quick. That's my YouTube. But yeah, I mean, I want to start building up my Instagram more. Start, you know, putting more pictures of product that I do want to sell and things like that. And it's just, you know, one step at a time. You know, if anyone wants to get into this business, I mean, it's fun. I mean, when I first started it, I was making less than $1,000 a month, and I was really surviving, but I was so dedicated to where I needed it, you know what I mean? And I can see like my investment I did, you know, a year and 4 months ago, and how I was able to make money from this business and how I'm continuing to grow and things like that. So, you know, it's a fun, you know, you can start this business nowadays, to be honest, for like, you know, $300-400. For sublimation, it's great. I mean, I enjoy doing sublimation because I did mugs, but you don't really need a sublimation. For me personally, you don't really need a sublimation printer if you're just strictly doing t-shirts, because you're so limited with sublimation and t-shirts, because you can only get like polyester, and there's other people that find ways to supplement on cotton, but that's still kind of, would you want to sell that to your customer?
Exactly.
What's your take on that?
Now, sublimation, I do sublimation too. I dabbled in it, and I tested out the same design I have on. I actually put on an all-white shirt, and I sublimated it, and I basically just been washing it for like a whole year, basically, because I started this a whole year ago and got my stuff. Started off with the Cricut, and then invested in the Epson 2720 and converted it to a sublimation printer. Now, the one thing I don't like about sublimation is it has to be on light colored, and for me, that is so restrictful. Like, I can't, in my business, I don't want to have something that's going to personally be just for one thing. So sublimation, when I first got into it, I knew it was just going to be for light colors and light things like that, and I'm taking a step. But in the future, it is not most likely going to be a part of my business, only because the restrictions of having to be on a light color, having to have the sublimation ink and do it, and just basically, I think there's better options out there, like better printers, better things that just can go on any fabric, like what you have right there.
You know, this one, I mean, the thing with this one right here, and I wanted to show this. Now, this right here, okay, so I can convert it to sublimation printer, and I can convert it back, that's what I'm thinking about doing, because I bought these right over here. And these are the paper to where if I want to like put on mugs, tumblers, and with this I can sublimate basically on anything, steel, metal, wood, cardboard. I mean, there's like the list. But if, let's say, I wanted to do a mug, because I remember, I believe it's 300 and 180 seconds, and it's a really cold feel. You're supposed to feel it under warm water, and then I'm supposed to put it in a conventional oven for 20 minutes for it to fully harden, just using the white ink. So that was kind of like a little bit setback for me, because I did get some tumblers that I wanted to, you know, put on my Instagram once. I mean, not my Instagram, but my Etsy once I finally launched the business. But it's fine because I can still use this. I mean, I can just use it like basically anything. So I'm gonna be testing out a few things with this. So if you guys want to, like, I mean, the white ink turner printer, I mean, I like it, but there's just a lot you gotta learn. There's a lot of different settings, and if you don't have that heat press that they recommend, then you gotta figure out what your heat press. But if you're doing like mugs and tumblers, I know tumblers is big. Sublimation would be probably better if you're planning on doing that.
Definitely.
For shirts, I've seen your videos where you got like what, super color?
Yeah.
And I kind of want to like get like super color film just to see, just to compare it with, this right over here.
Let me go ahead and grab some because I actually have some with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab it real
Yeah.
quick and just show you guys. Like I have some DTF paper. I had a friend of mine. He wanted to get some neck tags done, so I'm gonna show you guys that. And I have a couple of super color transfers and stuff I can just pop up on the screen. But you can go ahead and show them. You're on the camera right now, and I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I did right here. I really want to try it out with super color. So if you guys want to like, so super color is like what, like 10 cents or something a page. But with this one right here, if let's say I were to sell it, it would be like $4. It's really expensive. It's an ink is expensive already for me, and I don't think I can buy it like in bulk where it would bring my cost down. But I don't think I would even sell it because if you don't crush it right and you're not used to it, you can actually mess it up. So that's why I kind of don't recommend buying white ink turner film just because of that. You know, it's going to be expensive to you, and if you messed it up, you're not able to go back and fix it like vinyl. So that's why, I recommend if you were to get something like this, because this thing does everything. I mean, I can supplement. I can do temporary tattoos. I can buy like ink, and I can actually sell temporary tattoos. Um, it has like a glitter ink or something where I can do like glitter prints as well, which is pretty cool. I can convert it to sublimation printer. I can convert it to a regular home office printer and just keep switching it back. And the best thing about this, what I do like, is there's no maintenance. I can have it off for 4 months straight and nothing would happen. Not like sublimation to where you got constantly got to keep it running to make sure like the print heads don't get clogged up. And if anybody wants to convert a sublimation printer, I recommend the Epson F170. I think it's $400, and that's Epson sublimation printer, and it comes with sublimation ink, so you won't be voiding any warranty if you do pick up that printer. But I know a lot would buy like I think it's the E550, which it does like the bigger prints, but again, it would void all warranties.
Yeah. All right. So now I like how you said that sublimation printer because the one I have it voided the warranty as soon as I dropped that ink in there and I did anything. So luckily mine's still up and running. It's still going. I get a test print like every week. It kind of just shoots out a piece of paper showing me if the ink and stuff is actually printing and stuff like that. Now for sublimation, basically what it is just ink paper, or not ink paper, it's just like a special ink, and they put it onto a piece of paper, which I'm about to basically show you guys what I use myself when I do it. This is for my sublimation. As he was saying, sublimation paper it holds more ink than regular paper, so when it bleeds onto whatever you're trying to press onto it, transfer over more, and it's literally just a piece of paper. Looks like a regular piece of paper. The way you can tell the difference of where you want your image to be, if you look on here, this is just a white side. That's where you will print your image, and then on the back you can kind of see the A sub lettering, and that's going to be on the back side. So when you press your shirt, the A sub lettering is going to be facing upwards, and the ink is going to be basically right here. And when you do print it, you're going to have to reflect your image, because it's when you press anything, of course you're not, when you're looking on the laptop it looks a certain way. You want it to look backwards on the laptop, so when it cuts out and you press it, it actually looks the right way. Which at first that confused me, because my very first shirt I pressed was backwards. And
Yeah, I forgot. I did the same thing too with mine a whole bunch of times.
for sure. And that was just sublimation. Now I'm going to show you guys like DTF, which is something different than what he has over there. It's kind of similar. It can go on any fabric, but you also have to convert certain printers, and I'm pretty sure you break the warranty when you do it because you're throwing different ink in
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely another way other than sublimation to be at home and do a home t-shirt business. I have a couple DTF shirts, and after a year, now they're finally starting to break. I don't know how it is for everyone, but the person I got my DTF from was Bear Prince, and his lasted about over a year before he'd even got a crack or anything. And these are the film sheets, I guess, that DTF kind of has, and it's kind of similar to the ones you were using. They print on here, and then they have a white powder they kind of put on here. But this is my good friend's business. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. Live Life. Shout out to Chris and Live Life. Check him out on Instagram, TikTok. Again, that's Live Life. Really love his brand. He is pushing just to live your life. Just do whatever. Don't let any moment pass. Take advantage of every single moment you have. And those are a bunch of neck tags I actually got done for him for DTF. And they just go on the back of your neck. And that new press I have, if you guys been watching my videos, a little small press, you can use that to actually push the neck tags onto there. Now, you were talking about Supercolor. I didn't know you never tried Supercolor.
I never did. I mean, this is the print. This is what I use. So it prints out like this. This is my design. And you see like the colors here, like how it's more vibrant, like more like
it's way more vibrant.
Yeah. This one is like very dull, and this is where you press this onto, and it makes a perfect, like it will come out perfectly over here, and you can see like the print on.
Now, when you press that on, do you just peel it off?
Well, when I do it, right, I put it in the heat press first like this. It's supposed to this part right here is supposed to be on top, and you press it for 120 seconds, so that's 2 minutes. I do it for 3:13, and then it's a really hot peel, so you're supposed to peel it out quickly. Then you have the white part on the back, and that now you can press it onto a shirt, and you do that for, it's supposed to be 30 seconds, but I do it for 33 seconds now, and that's a really cold peel. You gotta make sure there's no, it's not warm or anything. And once you peel it, you put parchment paper, then you press it again for like 20 seconds for it to fully fuse into the shirt.
Yeah.
And this is how this one looks like. Right over here, without the white backing.
Yeah,
I kind of want to try Supercolor because I know you were having problems with Supercolor. Like having problems with it, like what's it called, like sticking to the shirt or something.
Yeah, I definitely had problems with it at first, and I come to learn that it was my pressure, it was my heat press, my temperature.
Yeah.
And after messing with it, because this is what I first pressed. I'm going to show you guys my own design I have. This is my own personal one. I'm sorry, what's that?
No, I'm sorry, because I know you got a clamshell. That's a clamshell, right? What you have?
This is just, I honestly don't think it's a clamshell. It's just a Tussie heat press, a little cheap heat press from Amazon. It literally cost me $179 when I got it.
I looked at it. It's like cheaper now. I think you can get it less than that.
Yeah,
because
but
with my StarCraft clamshell, I mean, it was giving me problems with the pressure. I mean, it's a great heat press, but it was kind of giving me problems with me pressing these on, especially like applying the backing for it. But then I realized the swing away, I think it's better for that. I think if you get a swing away, I think it's gonna. I feel like it presses it more than what I did with my clamshell. So probably that's something maybe to look into, like a swing away.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to upgrade on a heat press. Definitely looking into swing away is one thing I definitely want to do, because one thing I do hate about the press I'm at now is I'm always under the heat. So no matter what, if I'm even working on anything, moving anything, the heat's directly on top of me, like right here, and I have to do it. I like swinging it away, just being able to work, move my shirt, lift it, throw it, like move freely without the safety hazard of
I've
feeling
burned
that
myself
heat.
a few times.
Because that burn hurts. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, I've burned myself a few times. Trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it definitely hurts. And
Yeah, it's a lot easier with that swing away.
yeah, and pressing super color with this is a kind of a task. You have to have a heat gun. You have to know your pressure and know exactly what it is. If you're going to use a cheap press for anything, you have to literally dial it down, because the settings you have for your company or for the company that sent you that most likely isn't going to work as you think it would, because you don't have a dedicated one.
Yeah, this one I use right here. Got this from Home Depot. I forgot how much. I think I paid like $40 for it. You can get them cheaper online, but I wanted to get like a brand name. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've used it a few times, but I don't think it's my heat when it comes to pressing. I think it's the pressure, because
Yeah.
again, if you're, and see, that's another thing too for everybody who wants to get into this business. Even vinyl, they have, not all vinyl is the same. Some vinyl require different temperatures. Some vinyl requires different pressure. Uh, there's actually this vinyl I just kind of discovered because of that other YouTuber, Huff Vinyl. Did you ever hear about that? It's
Yeah.
pretty cool because when you press it, it starts like
I actually used it
raising
before.
up. Oh, you did? On
Yeah, I
YouTube?
have a video.
Oh, I might have missed that then.
Yeah, and the very first time I actually pressed that, I wish I would have had the camera going, because it was like a science project. Like, I don't know if I added too much heat or whatever, or pressure, but as soon as I lifted it, it all just started bubbling, like if you put too much soap
totally.
in the washer, the whole thing just
Yeah.
started bubbling and coming up, and I'm like, oh my god. I seen it happen, and I was
That
like,
would've
I
been a
wish
funny
I had a
video,
camera right here.
Yeah, that would have been a funny video, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
that's how it is. And then, you know, if anyone wants, again, it's not just heat press business. I mean, I've watched people that do soap and candle. Not that I'm interested in doing that, but I like watching like different like
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, different small businesses just doing different things about just heat press and what they have to go through. It's basically the same thing. Just learning. Gotta,
Yeah, it's all the
willing
same.
to dedicate your money into your business and just learning different things, and they talk about their experience when they first start doing soap or first start doing candles and how they would mess up. But you gotta keep just investing, gotta keep going, and it's a dedication. You know what I mean? Like even if it's gonna take you 3 to 4 months, because let's say you don't have that much, let's say you don't have that much money a month after you pay bills and everything, and you think, okay, it's going to take me like 5-6 months until I can actually start selling stuff. Hey, you got to be patient, because that 6 month is going to come by if you're ready or not, so you better
Exactly.
be, it's going to be ready. Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm definitely noticing, is your business is going to move as fast as you put into it. So if you're not consistent, or you're not putting in 100% effort, then I don't think you should just expect like the results of what you're doing, because what you put into this business is what you're going to get out. So if you put everything into it and you sweat and tears, you're going to see that pay off when it comes to the end, because it all starts at a foundation. You got to build the bottom floor of the building before you get to the second floor, third floor, and start that skyscraper and start that empire.
Yeah, I mean, then also another thing, if anyone that's going to get into starting their own small business, there's a lot of costs that you wouldn't think, for me. So I have the whole attic to myself, I'm grateful to have the whole attic to myself, so I got like a lot of space. My brother, this used to be my brother's room, and when he moved out, I was able to take over. But I had very small space, very limited space, but you got to work with the space you have.
Exactly.
That's why I got like these shelves and everything. Then another thing, what I'm gonna do with that room over here, I'm gonna do a video once I get it set up. You gotta invest into photos, into pictures, how you're gonna present that product. Because I've seen small businesses and their photos, like I wouldn't be interested in buying or clicking on it because it's not popping at
Exactly.
me, so you gotta invest into the photo part, if you got to get a camera, studio lights, if you're planning on doing that yourself, or I guess, and if you're gonna have like a company do it, but if you can do everything yourself, you got to think about that. Then once
Yeah.
you launch, because see, eventually I'm gonna open up my own Shopify, but I'm just waiting right now. Because once you open up a Shopify, you gotta pay for advertising, and not everybody sees that. Like you gotta, there's a lot of money that goes into a business. It's different, it's like you have a house, and they just do the living room, but they forget the bedroom and the kitchen.
Yeah.
You got to do to make it livable. You got to be able to furnish all those 3 rooms, but everybody don't see those 2 rooms. They just see the living room and figure out why it's not working out for them.
I know even to get a Shopify started, I think you even have to pay like a monthly
Yeah.
subscription to be on there. And I think when I last looked at it, because when I was first getting into YouTube, I was looking into it, and I had started the free trial subscription by accident. So that was
Same
my
here,
mistake,
same here.
and I done
Oh,
lost
same
the 30-day free trial. So I was like, damn, I wasn't ready and lost it. But for people who are looking to get into this, look into Shopify when you're ready. Don't start that free trial until you're ready, because that first 30 days you can make some bread, you can make some money, and it could possibly help you out if you prepared before you even start that Shopify. And before we get back into you, I just want to show that Stay Fly,
Oh.
that super color transfer that I messed up on. That's basically what it looks like. I believe
What's
they
the
put
backing? It's like coating or something.
It's
I'm
a
kinda
white-
Curious.
it's a white powder. It looks like white powder.
I wonder if it's
And-
the same thing, because I'm trying to interrupt, but because I was talking to my boss, he was saying that that's newer than what I have. So I believe this came out first, the white internal printer, which they still make them.
Yeah,
But I believe that's probably like a little newer technology. But if you're just doing shirts, I mean, DTF printer, I mean, those are very expensive. We're talking like, I think they're more expensive than this right over here, because you can.
they're
I think
definitely
this
more
is
expensive.
like an older model. Yeah. But with this one right here, what I love about this one is that you can do more than just t-shirts. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
if you're gonna do more than just t-shirts and you want it all in one, I recommend this. But
Definitely.
how much do you pay for your prints though?
So
That's my
Sup-
answer.
if I go through Supercolor, basically Supercolor has a minimum you have to buy of at least 10. Now they have different sizes. When I got this,
So let's,
it was
so let's talk this. How much would this be? You think?
that size right there. I believe they're gonna push, because this size right here, that's literally only for
The hats?
like
Or patches?
this is like
Oh, the logo.
yeah, for like a logo, like a little corner shirt.
Yeah.
For 10 of these cost me around $50.
Wait, 10 cost you 50?
Yeah. Or what?
I thought
It was either, how many is there? Yeah, 10 units cost me close to $47 for a super color. And they gave you a little extra when you got it. Like,
Yeah.
they gave me more than 10, of course. They gave me like, I think it was like 12, 13, maybe 14. I guess in case I mess up or something, they gave you a couple extra ones. But if you calculate that into how many shirts you make and all that stuff and your profit, you're going to have to sell your shirt a little bit higher if you're going to be using like products like this, because let me take it out. But if you look at the detail of it, your detail on your printer honestly does the same it does right here. Honestly, it's going to be the same. The only difference is the quality of how long it's going to wash like and stay on the shirt. That I don't know, because I never had a white tone print or like anything t-shirt, so I don't know how long it lasts. And as far
50
as
like, okay.
super color, this is the detail that they can put into what you're doing. And this is for Mr. T-Bulls. He has a TikTok, and he breeds pit bulls and Frenchies and anything. So if you guys want dogs, anything, just look at Mr. T-Bulls Instagram, TikTok, and go check him out. So tell them the Lost Entrepreneur sent you. Maybe find you a new buddy. But Super Color is at first I was having trouble with them, and I didn't really like how it was doing, and I was like, I felt like all these YouTubers were lying to me, because they're all like praising them and saying Super Color is amazing and Super Color does this. So I'm like all hype and I'm ready, and I get my transfer and then it won't come off the shirt. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like literally I followed videos, did the press exactly how they did it, and it wasn't working. But eventually I figured it out. And they do sell different wares for head, for things like that. They also have samples. These are just samples. If you guys looking, like selling t-shirts, I don't know if you're able to resell this. You'll have to look that up yourself. But they are able to sell you this transfer already made. And this was like $4. So I don't know if you're able to resell it. You will have to look that up. But if you are able to resell it for $4, you never know. You might have a pretty good image. And I am a 420 medical marijuana patient of Florida, so you know I gotta have my green.
I have a shirt I might do for you. I think you're gonna like. I just think you said you're large, right?
Yeah, large.
Yeah. All right. The next live stream, I'll print it out because one thing I realized when I print these out, and I don't. Eventually, the ink will start going away because there's no backing, nothing to protect it. But how much is DT? How much is it called DTF, direct to film? How much do you pay for something like this?
Now DTF films are a lot cheaper, Like all this.
Like how much would this?
Yeah, all this right here cost me $30, and I have probably close to over 100 different like neck tags.
Those are for neck. Okay, how about if you were to get something like this, like right over here? How much would 30 roughly would cost you? I'm just trying to get some pricing here.
I'm thinking like
that's what it's watching this.
Like, because I don't know the quality of it, and I can't say for sure, but I'm thinking anywhere from like $5 to $10, maybe per one, maybe
per one. Okay, so
yeah,
it's about
maybe.
the same. Okay, so I thought running this was. So if you're running this, it's actually cheaper because for your cost, for me buying it and doing it on the shirt, my cost is about $2.19.
Yeah, and yours is actually you're in-house. So the way I got this was I had to pay for that plus the shipping. So if anybody's looking to buy anything and you're buying it, remember the shipping, because it's whatever you're paying for plus shipping, and sometimes shipping is that extra few dollars you don't have, and that makes or breaks what you're doing. You have to limit your purchase now. You have to go now 5 more lower because you can't do that right now. But doing it in-house, like you said, for $2.19, that's real cheap per shirt, and that allows you to get your costs right.
Yeah, I mean, if you check out that base, hold on, let me look it up again. Basement 215 he uses a different company, and I think they're a little bit cheaper. And the thing with those, you press them for like 5 seconds, and they look pretty good. If you check out his video, he uses these different companies that press the shirt onto, which is pretty cool. But what else? Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot cheaper because why are people saying they can get like films for like 10 cents, or is it something else? Or do you have to like buy like in the thousands of dollars to get them that cheap?
Yeah, that I honestly don't know, because the only DTF I bought was this neck tag right here, because now I have vinyl. Like I find that to be just easier because I have it on me. I don't have to. This I got because it was just a lot of shirts and stuff, so it's easier just to have
DTF, it. You can do it like this as well, can you?
Yeah, you can print it out as that as well, and I don't have a DTF printer, so I don't know the actual cost of how much it costs for like per print, like the ink. But one thing I do, guys, want to tell you, since we're talking about DTF, I'm not a DTF guy, but my boy, Big Boy, is. So if you had any questions on DTF. I'm trying to get into DTF. I want to learn it. I'm not afraid to put in money into it and just see how it is for YouTube and show you guys how it is and see how it is. But in the future, I'm going to try it. When I get some extra funds, we'll see if I can come up with a way to try and do it for the channel. But he's definitely big into DTF. He has DTF film. He has his own DTF ink he sells. He has his DTF basically print shop on Etsy. And he for DTF, I feel like he's the guy. If anybody's looking for DTF answers, is to go to Big Boy, because Big Boy knows it all, from printers to software to ink to film to where to get it. That's the man right there if you want to know about DTF.
Because I realized when I got this printer, I don't think not a lot of people knew about it. The way I found out about it was, I remember when I first started, I went to Michael's, and the Michael's I go to, you can tell like a lot of people go there, they buy like their vinyl, and they're like new, and
Yeah.
so that kind of, I guess, knew like I was new, and we started talking, and he told me about that printer, and then it just kind of stuck with me, and I thought that the white ink toner printer and DTF was the same. Then I realized after it's not the same.
No.
But I'm just kind of curious, like how it, because as you can see, like this is, I mean, it pressed really good, but it pressed really good. It has like that feel, so it kind of feels like this shirt over here. It feels like this shirt.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if this is white ink toner printer. I'm not sure if this is DTF. I know it's not screen printing, but I'm not sure. Does it have like a feel when you press DTF or Supercolor? Like, can you like feel it? Like how this one I'm able to feel?
Yeah.
Or no?
Like DTF has you can tell there's a image on top of your shirt. You can feel the ink.
Okay.
I don't know if it's I know it's ink, but I don't know what it turns into after. Like, it's just like kind of like a rubbery feel, it kind of sticks to your fingers, and like it doesn't slide as if it was smooth. But Supercolor is more like not noticeable. They kind of blend into the shirt more. You can like kind of wrinkle up a shirt with a Supercolor transfer, and it'll feel as if it was just a shirt being wrinkled up. But other transfers, kind of when you wrinkle it up, you can tell there's like something in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell the image is there, like you're crumbling up some type of image.
So this one, I want to say it's probably Supercolor, the way you're describing. So I think this is Supercolor. Now it is breaking. It does have breaks in it, but again, I had this shirt for a while and it went through the wash.
Yeah.
But because if I feel like I'm wrinkling it, I feel like part of the shirt. But when I do it with that, you can kind of tell. But it's not like heat transfer, because I use heat transfer paper and you can really tell. But this one, like when I showed it to a family member and they looked at it and they felt it, they're like, this is something like that I would buy from like Hot Topic or Spencer's. And because it feels, well, depending I guess on the image, but this one does feel kind of like, when I'm wrinkling it a little bit, you can kind of tell there's something there, but it's not like really heavy like when I use heat transfer paper, and you can really like it, you get what I'm saying? Like it just makes it kind of like heavy.
Yeah.
But this one kind of blends in a little bit, So that's why I'm kind of curious, because I just want to know like if there's a big difference between this printer or what you're using.
I think there definitely is a difference, like the printer you're using. And the one thing about Supercolor, first off, just from you saying the printer you're using, I can't produce a Supercolor at home. So that's a one major difference, that if somebody does invest into your white tone printer, just know that in the long run you're going to be saving so much more money, because you're not going to have to keep going to Supercolor for that next set of prints and the next set of things. Every time I go for a print right now, I have my Tussie heat press, my Cricut, and my sublimation printer. So that limits me to certain things. So if I want to press on any fabric, I have to go outsource. I have to get it from somebody. So just like I go to Supercolor once. I was going to talk to you about that. Once you learn that stuff, are you thinking of selling your film? Is there a way to sell film like they do for Supercolor? Like, are you able to sell your print to somebody? Like, say I had this design I wanted, and by the way, guys, this is DTF that I have on. I don't know if I said that before, but like, has anybody sell white toner like transfers?
I mean, I think so because there's on the Facebook group. I joined like a lot of sublimation groups, especially when I got this printer, and I've also joined a lot of Cricut pages, and there's a few that are selling it. But I thought it was gonna because for me to make money and to cover my costs, I mean, they're saying that you gotta make at least 50%, or like for me, probably I would probably start them off at like $5, and the more you buy, the more I guess the more you can save, but it won't be much because of my cost.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I'm scared to sell this because if they don't follow the directions, they're gonna mess up their shirt. Because I've done that a few times.
Exactly.
It's gonna be all crinkled up and everything in the beginning, and I don't want that coming back at me because the press. Now I'm not sure how to press it with TTF and Supercolor before they send it to you. But for me to send this to somebody, I would first have to press it to get the white coating on there so it can press to the shirt, and they have to press it for 30 seconds, now depending on their heat pressure as well. How if I tell them, okay, my heat pressure works like this, and they do it like that, then all of a sudden they're coming at me. Because if I tell them, okay, you gotta go with the recommendation, they're gonna be like, well, they're recommending a heat press that costs like over $3,000. You know what I mean? And then let's say they do get it right, because if you don't do it right and you try peeling it, it's gonna fuse to the shirt, and it's not gonna peel at all, and I destroyed so many shirts that way. Now, if let's say they did do it right and they were able to peel it, then they're supposed to press it again one more time to make sure that it gets fused into the shirt. But are they going to have enough pressure doing that? Are they going to mess it up? Because one thing, thankfully, I was able to clean it out with, if you're not supposed to ever press this on your heat press, because it would get stuck to your heat press, and it kind of got a little bit stuck the first shirt I did of this design, and it kind of got stuck. So you always got to put parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can't press this at all, and that's the thing. And then that's why it kind of scares me a little bit, to where I kind of don't want my business to go under because someone wasn't going to read the directions, or their heat press, they don't know what to set their heat press at. Again, I wasted a lot of money just to get to this point to where now I'm comfortable to sell it. But how if their heat press works different, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to sell it.
I definitely understand that, and that's one thing Supercolor I think is having a problem with as well, because they're sending out all these transfers, and then I see a lot of people saying it works for them, some don't work for, and it's just mixed reviews, and that's just the problem you have with selling a product that is I guess so easily used wrong or not properly pressed or anything like that. You have to have the right temperature, because it is a formula. It is a certain way they created it, and the way they did it is the way it's supposed to be pressed. And same thing with your white tone printer. And that's one reason why I do like vinyl. That's another thing that I like, is if you do have a t-shirt business, sometimes you don't have to have like a complicated design. Like, it could literally just be a word, like a phrase that says "you're the one," and just be all white lettering, and have your channel or something.
Before I'm sorry to interrupt, but exactly what you said. That one YouTuber, Basement 215, when you go on Etsy, it's so simple, his design. He does vinyl, and it's so simple, and it works, and it looks nice. That's why I'll never stop not using vinyl. With this, it's basically going to just be prints like if I'm going on Etsy and it's just going to be like this. But I realized that if I had, let's say, a clientele, sometimes I have to use vinyl for certain things, so I can
Yeah.
kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, vinyl to me personally, that will never go away. But because I was learning kind of like how to layer, and that was just so much time. And then if you don't know how to layer, you can burn the vinyl, the under, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the first few vinyls, you can burn them, and then next thing you know, it's all wrinkled. Would you sell that to a customer? No, I wouldn't sell that to a customer. That's why I stopped doing heat transfer paper, because after a while it just got messed up, and I didn't even have it for a month, because all this I tested out myself. I make sure that it's holding up before I sell it to the customer. Um, One thing I want to tell you before we finish up, I remember you past video, you bought like a conventional oven and you were doing a tumbler. Are you planning on doing tumblers or mugs or no?
I'm definitely planning on doing tumblers and mugs, because my whole plan for myself is when I do launch, I do want to have like people able to buy like personal items, like just a shirt, maybe just a pair of socks or anything like that. But then I want to have maybe like a whole box which comes with a whole gift set of everything I created that just matches. So I want to be able to put a mug in there, put a t-shirt that matches, put a sock that matches, and just have like a bundle and put it for a set price maybe, or something like that. I don't know, something along that way. But I did dabble in mugs, where I did a tumbler, and I did a whole video where I just literally went to Walmart, bought this right off the shelf, went home, hooked it up, and then tried it for the very first time, and it worked. Like, I know what my mistake was. It was too hot and I didn't rotate it, and that caused like one side of the image to kind of burn and the other side to be perfect. But if I would have rotated it at least halfway through, then it would have made a perfect image, because one side just was too closer to the heat. But the oven I had wasn't the best one either. It was a cheaper one. I think it was literally only like $20. So it's possible to create your own stuff at home doing a conventional oven and stuff like that. It only took maybe 10 minutes for it to heat up and everything, the whole process to be done after I taped it up. The taping was the hardest part, trying to get the image straight. But once you figure that out, then you should be all right. And definitely for my business in the future, I think I'm gonna add cups, add things like that, because I also want to get a 3D printer and just mess around with that, because there's so much amazing things you can make with it. And one thing I was telling my wife, with a 3D printer, like when people buy their shirts and there's always like a little tag or something hanging off, I was thinking of putting like a rubber Lost Entrepreneur like little thing that just kind of sticks off, so when they take it off, it's now turning into a keychain instead. It's not a waste of a product. So it started off as a tag on your shirt, but then you can take it off the shirt, and then now it's considered a keychain now, and you can do whatever. Like, I'm trying to actually reuse products and not just have it a throwaway.
I mean, I've been looking at 3D printers myself, but I think I'm more interested like in the laser engraver. I've been really looking into those. The 3D printer, I mean, I want to get one, but like I said, the laser engraver, I can see more things that I'd rather do with that. Especially with this printer, I have like a lot of ideas, especially with like engraving wood and everything, and he's able to sublimate on wood. But I'm planning on doing like, because when I first started, I wanted shirts and mugs, but I want tumblers, I want hats. Main reason why I got that swing away, because it has like the hat attachment. I can do plates. It has plates attachment, so I was looking into plates, because I mean, I can do it because it came with the attachments where I can sublimate on plates. Came with like a tumbler press, which I was really happy, 20 30 ounce, which is pretty good. But I want to start doing hats. I haven't even done a hat yet, and I've seen your video you did, I think, like a week or two ago, where you did that hat. I do have kind of like that same uh, mini heat press that you have. Mine's is the Cricut, but I mean works the same.
Yeah.
And when you guys watch like my past videos, I kind of got into like resin work and things like that, but I kind of stopped that. I was doing too much, and resin it's not really good for my health because I do have asthma, and it was kind of messing up my asthma. And I'm like, my health is more important than making money, so I kind of
Definitely.
stopped doing that and just going back to my roots. So I ended up just getting the Cricut hat press, and I'm planning on doing probably videos with that. Um, so are you planning on getting like a hat press, or you're trying to figure out that what was it called, a Static um, press that you got? What's your plans on the hats? Are you planning on doing them just for you, or are you planning on like customizing them and selling them online?
Now I'm looking to customize and sell them online because one major. I don't have a hat on right now, but you can ask anybody that's with me. I always have a hat on.
Like,
I'm always wearing a hat. I'm in Florida, so the heat of the sun, as you can see, I don't have hair. I'm losing my hair, and the sun is just bad for you. Like it's good at spurts, but if I'm out in this heat all day and my head it's gonna be burned. So I always have hats on deck, and that's why I was always interested in making hats and things like that. That's why I got that Sawtech. It's definitely going to take a lot getting used to, but I am going to get a hat press eventually. Actual one that closes, one that can just put the hat cap onto it and have the hat plate. The Sawtech right now I kind of have to push onto a surface, and I'm still figuring out how I'm going to find I don't know if I'm going to find like a mannequin head maybe or something. I can like put the hat on and press it on, something like that. But I got to find a way to make the hat a certain way so I can actually press the image onto it with the Sawtech I have. And that's just a small little hand press. It don't really have like a temperature gauge. It's just high, low, and medium. So that's another thing I'm figuring out. But when I get a proper heat press, that's when it's really going to happen because it has the proper settings and it basically makes it easier.
That mini heat press, I'm telling you, it's going to come in handy, because it's so small.
Definitely.
I still use it to this day. Actually, when I was testing out these shirts, I actually used it to see if I can get it right. And just because of my mini, I was able to basically fix my mistakes, know what my mistakes were, and just kind of fix it from that. And then if, let's say, now, there's another thing about copyright, and you're not supposed to do this. With this design, for example, I'm not supposed to add something else to this design on this shirt. Again, read the copyright. Now, some designs, you're able to do that. So if, let's say, someone wanted this shirt and they wanted their name, I could just use my mini without me damaging the foundation of the print here. I could use my mini and just go over it and just do that with vinyl.
Definitely.
Now, the thing, Lost Entrepreneur, I wanted to tell you, man, when you were using your Sawtech, you gotta invest in one of these. This is the Cricut Heat Mat. Now I think they do sell like cheaper ones online on Amazon too, like different brand. But this is what you need when you're using your Sawtech, because you're gonna be heating up your surfaces, can cause like fires. So this is definitely something if you're gonna be using like something like that, there's like a heat mat, and you can just put your shirt here and press whatever. If you're doing like a hat press, I'm guessing what you were doing was pretty good. But if you're doing it like on the surface, you definitely got to invest in one of these right here. Because I use this if I'm using my Easy Press 2 and I'm using my Cricut Mini.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna invest in one of those. I need to invest in that. I've been buying what is it? Parchment paper. I know you said it in another thing. You was like, you gotta invest into Teflon. I think it's called like a Teflon sheet, but I think it's reusable. And I definitely need to start investing in stuff that's more reusable, more friendly, eco-friendly, and just stuff I can reuse and kind of have after one time and not have to throw it away and stuff like that. But I seen somebody ask if we're selling anything online yet. Me personally, I am not selling anything online yet. I will open an Etsy soon. I'm getting my my basically my design together of what I first want to launch with, and once I get that together, I guess I'll get it started, and we're gonna go ahead and get that moving. What you got over there?
Yeah, so speaking of Teflon, this is Teflon right over here. You can use it for baking, and I like to use this so it protects your heat press. I did a video, one of my first videos, where I was showing the difference between sublimation and heat transfer paper, and I messed it up because I first sublimated, and then it was so hot for the heat transfer, and it literally melted right onto my Teflon. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this mistake. Be careful what you're pressing onto, because you could, get that stuff right on your heat press. For me, luckily, with my heat press, it was easier to get the stuff. I didn't know, like, with this, that you always have to have some type of Teflon or parchment paper. So this is Teflon, and this is parchment paper, and I got this from Pullman and Company, the same brand where I got, the same brand as the heat press. And this is like their thick parchment paper, and this thing works amazing. It's much more thicker than the one I was using from Walmart, and this one right over here is pretty good. Now, the thing with this press right over here, and I forgot to mention this. So when you're doing the third pressing with this, if you want to give it like a more matted finish, the last step, you want to press it on Teflon. If you want to give it more like a shining finish, you want to use parchment paper. Is it the same thing with DTF and Supercolor, or it doesn't have that type of property? Because it's kind of cool, because I tested it out with both, where one of my shirts, it kind of gave it like a really matted finish, and then with this, I don't know if it will come up on camera, but you can kind of tell, you can kind of see like it kind of sparkle a little bit, kind of give it like a little shine finish. Does that happen with Supercolor or DTF?
I haven't noticed that happening with Supercolor or DTF. It kind of just comes out as one, I guess, shininess, one like look. Whether I use
press it 2 times.
Was that
like press it the first one on your shirt? I'm sorry. Yeah. You're supposed to. Okay, so when you press it on your shirt, you're supposed to press it one more time, or no?
So basically, what I do the first time you press it is I do 3 presses technically. When I press my shirts, I do a pre-press before I even press anything on there, make sure there's no moisture or anything on there. The second one is the actual image with the parchment paper, or if you're using Teflon paper, whatever you're using, you press it for the recommended 15 seconds, whatever it says. Then after you peel it off, I kind of relay the Teflon or the parchment paper over, and I press it again for another good 5 to 10 seconds. It's not recommended or needed to. They don't say to do that for Supercolor. Some people say to do it for DTF in instructions because it kind of just helps adhere to the shirt better. I do it personally just because, I don't know, I feel like it sticks to the shirt once I press it after the initial first press.
Yeah, because when you first press, kind of wish I think I showed that, because I did 2 videos of me pressing it. When you press it to the shirt, it feels very smooth, like very, very smooth, and you can tell like it's not like when you first like remove it, and that's why you got to press it again, because you can tell when you press it the third time it's really fused into the t-shirt. Once you do, again, it's all about pressure, and each heat press has their own settings. Again, there was a YouTuber, and see that's the thing with I realized with watching other YouTubers, they could help you out, but if you don't have that same heat press, you kind of figure it out. She had like an Amazon Swing Away heat press, and I did her settings and it didn't work out for me, so I had to play around with my Swing Away to figure out the actual right temperature and the right pressure, so when I'm pressing my shirt. And also another thing I want to show you guys, when you're doing t-shirts, highly recommend getting one of these right here. It's a t-shirt center guide. So with this one, you don't, when you buy, like, there's ones that come with like 4 for like adults, kids, infants, toddlers, but this one, it's good for all 4. Just put it right here and you just center it. And then with this one comes with the guide, depending on what you're pressing. right over here. So that's definitely something I recommend. And I also got one with the logo for the logo as well.
Now that one's heat resistant, right?
Yeah.
Because
when the heat starts, when I first press my shirt, it'll start fogging up. But yeah, it's heat resistant.
Yeah.
I never had a problem. I'm using it since I got it, and never had a problem. And I also got the one for the logo as well. Now this one you can use for the logo as well. And so it shows you like over here. Sorry about the glare, guys. But you guys can kind of tell a little bit over here. But I also got one that's made for the logo, and that one, man, it's helped me out so much. There's one of my clientele, logo and back of the shirt. Like he has a restaurant, and I actually did a video talking about that vinyl. The one I got, I was really excited, and I was doing like logo, and that helped me center the logo, made it look nice and everything like that. And definitely got to invest into those t-shirt guy that's going to help you out. And with this one, what I like about this one is that, let's say you don't have the logo one, and let's say you're on a budget and you can only get one. This one right there will show you. Yeah, it will show you like where to put it, like on the logo for like sweatshirts. Let's see. This one's for t-shirts, and it just kind of gives you like the guide on, like how to center it, just to make sure it gives you a good, perfect press. And this one, I highly recommend it. I believe it's like $18 on Amazon. Comes with a nice box and everything. So
Yeah.
definitely something. What else do you recommend for t-shirts? Like for someone who wants to press shirts, like kind of like, we talked about like the heat gun and everything like that. What else do you think you recommend?
I definitely recommend, like what you just shown. I have a different one. I have to get the one you just have because I really like that one and how it does it. But I ended up getting the cheaper ones at the beginning.
That's exactly the ones I got right there
Yeah.
too. What I
And
also.
it came. It was. I think it was way cheaper than what you were saying. 18. I think it was only maybe not even $10 somewhere around there. It wasn't an investment
Yeah,
at all.
this one right here.
Yeah, and I got like it came with this one only came with adult, youth, and I believe like a child, like a baby. But the ones you have over there are definitely way better because like it's heat resistant. Mine kind of warped as it was under the heat. But other things I recommend for a t-shirt business, let me grab it. I'm gonna show you guys because it's definitely something I got on Amazon too, and it's something I think everybody should get. All right, well, shout out to the wife. She's watching too, but she's the one who saw this online and was the one who got it for me. But it's a weeding toolkit, and I have actually a couple of them. I got two different ones, and both of these were on Amazon. I'm pretty sure they weren't even $15. They're not that much at all. It's not that much an investment, but a weeding tool kit like this helped me out so much because I had so many different tools to now work with my vinyl. Before I was sitting there working, when I first started, I didn't even know I needed a weeding tool, so I was using like something just pointy. And then when I invested into it, I started getting it, then got it more into it, and that's definitely something. But a camera, I think you need a camera, like you said, for your t-shirt business. Now, at first, my recommendation is if you can't afford like a real good camera, think of your smartphone as an option. Like people who have iPhones produce real good photos, real good quality pictures. So if you can even get you an entry level iPhone or
And ring light
something
too.
like that.
Got like good lighting, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean Amazon, not Amazon, I'm sorry. Walmart, Vivitar, they got this like nice light for $40 and it's amazing. I've used that before I got my studio lights, and I also got like this light that I got from Best Buy, which I use on my workbench when I'm doing my videos on my workbench, when I'm working on my workbench over here. So there's cheap lighting out there, and then also, are you still using that T100 Canon? Because I've looked at before I got my camera, I was looking into that, and it seems like it's pretty good. The only thing that you can't do is attach a microphone to it. But are you still using it? And if you are, will you use that for your photos?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was overthinking everything. I was like, I'm trying to be the best, I'm trying to do this, so I need the best camera, I need the best microphone, I need the best everything. So I invested, I felt like in my budget, this was the best I could got. And when I first got it, I thought you could hook a microwave, or not a microwave, I thought you could hook a microphone to it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I found that out that you couldn't, I was like, damn, I just invested so much money into something for this channel that, because I didn't do my research, I didn't know that I couldn't use it for video, like as far as like doing what I'm doing now. But I do still have it. It's actually right here, and I do use it. I use it not only
get
for
an adapter for the microphone.
Yeah, an adapter microphone, and this one I don't even think has an option to hook up any type of audio to it. Like I can't hit a headphone jack. I can't. This part up here. Usually that's where like the mics and everything hook up to, and on this one it doesn't do it like that. So I don't know what that attachment up there is for. I don't know.
For a flash.
For a flash. So that's what caught me off guard, and I thought that's where the mic went to. But I still use this for photos. It definitely takes amazing photos because it comes with this lens right here, and you can also buy different lenses. Just because you get this camera don't mean that you can produce even more better quality pictures, because you can buy different lens. And honestly, the camera is important, but the lens is honestly what costs like a lot of money once you start getting into photography.
I recommend. Yeah, what I got for my Canon is the 50mm. I highly recommend. It's like $126.
Yeah.
Best Buy or in my area was like sold out, so I went to Target and I picked it up from Target. But I definitely recommend, because I got the T8i, and it's a nice camera. It takes amazing pictures. But with that 50mm lens, it's not a zoom lens, but it's really good in low light because it's bigger, so it allows more light into it, and it takes a lot better pictures. And then I definitely recommend getting the flash, because the flash would definitely step up your photo game and everything like that. And another thing, are you planning on getting like a mannequin or something? Because I got like 2 mannequins. And I see a lot of people. Actually, that's the thing though. I've noticed a lot of people with this business, they don't really use mannequins. And a funny story too. I actually got a screenshot of it, and I'm gonna send it to you. Speaking of mannequin, but I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that. I think so. I think we'll be fine. Funny story about the Facebook group, but a lot of people don't use mannequins, and they just have it kind of like folded on a table or something, and have like a background. Before I tell you about the funny story, are you planning on getting a mannequin, or are you planning on doing it like that, like for your photos?
Now, I would love to have a mannequin. Like, I need, me personally, for my brand, like, everything is how it looks. So when, like you were saying, when you go to somebody's page, I don't just want my shirt on a table. And like, if I go to Etsy and somebody like a basic page, they're gonna have the t-shirt just with a white background image, just with the t-shirt, and it shows you what it says on it. All right, cool, that's nice, but literally everybody does that. Everybody has that image with just a white background, and then what the shirt looks like, whether it's Mother Day shirt or whatever, it just shows the shirt as if nobody was wearing it. You don't tell if the fabric actually looks like what it looks like in that picture, because it's not an actual photo.
Yeah, that's why I invested into like photos. If you guys see like my past videos, so this one I mainly got it for photos, but a lot of people are saying no, and I kind of, because it had like aliens and everything, so I decided just to use it as my backdrop in my work area. and when I do videos there, and it kind of looks good. But I do have like the stands where I can put like the photo drop. I have like two white ones. I got a green and a black. Then I got like two of them that represents Cosmo Graphic. And this is why I picked this up, this Cosmo print, because it represents Cosmo Graphic. The other thing too, for the T-shirt, this is the logo one I was talking about. This one will help you center. Now I got a funny story, man, and you wouldn't believe me, but I do got proof of it, and I'll send it to you. So yesterday, Amazon be tripping, man. So that's this lady. She was waiting for her 16 by 24 heat press coming from Amazon. So she got the box. I thought it was a mannequin, but they accidentally sent her a sex doll. And
Oh my god.
her daughter saw it and she started freaking out. Thought it was a dead body. I'm like, you gotta be careful with Amazon. I heard a lot of stories, but
Yeah.
man, how are you waiting for like a heat press? And I got proof too that, and
That's
it was
crazy.
just that I started laughing, but it kind of made me nervous a little bit. Everybody was nervous, like, man, I'm getting a heat press too. Am I gonna get this? They literally send this person a sex doll, like a full grown sex doll, and not a cheap one too. Like we're talking, like very expensive one. You can kind of tell like it had quality
Yeah.
to it. And it wasn't like one of those cheap ones. But man, like that's crazy, man. And it kind of made me think like, am I gonna get something like that one day? And like mix up, because you hear mix up all the time. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny, and because I thought it was a mannequin. I was like, man, this mannequin kind of looks kind of like realistic, like And then when I saw the post, I was like, I couldn't help to laugh. I mean, I felt bad for her too because she was waiting on a heat press, and her 8 years old daughter was helping to open it. And she said as soon as her daughter saw like the leg, she started freaking out, like that body, and everything like that. So I'm hoping her daughter is good. But it was a good laugh, man. You ever have any mix up like that, like ordering stuff and getting something completely different? I thought that was pretty funny, man. But I hope Amazon fixed it up for her and everything, because Amazon at times they kind of messed up a little bit, and they give you the product for free. Actually, the funny thing is, speaking of everything, Amazon kind of messed up with this. So when I started doing hats to present them, and they kind of gave me this for free because it got lost, and the person was like, if it ever shows up, just keep it. So a week and a half later, it showed up, but they refunded my money. They said I don't have to send it back. Did ever, like anything like that ever happen to you when you were buying stuff, especially for your business? Because that's kind of scary, man. Like, we depend on, people not messing up, like, packages and making sure we get the stuff on time. Did that ever happen to you? Or, or do you know anybody that happened to?
Yeah, I know it's not directed towards my business, but I know somebody who recently made a purchase with another company, and when they bought their shoes, it came as a whole different pair of shoes, whole different size, like whole different everything, and just a setback of not getting what you were actually buying. Now, I had a issue where if I, like, let's say I bought something, it wasn't the right color. Like, it was the same product, but it wasn't the right color. I had that happen before, but I personally have never had a sex doll show up to my house or anything like that.
Fun, man. Yeah, that was kind of like, how did Amazon mess up with that? You know what I mean? Like, that's I would think in like two different, like, I would think different warehouses and definitely different departments. I would think that they would put that stuff like, 18 years old and older department. I would imagine like it wouldn't mess up with like a heat press. But
Yeah.
I want to think like how that happened, like how, because that heat press, it was shipped and sold from the seller, and I tried looking up that seller to see if the seller was selling anything like that. Could have been the seller or could have been Amazon, because usually Amazon,
from working
that I know of,
in retail, because I used to work for Walmart. So working in retail, basically when they do inventory, everything from when you first purchase it from the manufacturer, as like say a big company, when they first buy it from whoever they buy it from, let's say they bought 1,000 t-shirts, that 1,000 t-shirts now go into their software and it shows that they have it. But in the point of putting it into the software, if for some reason it gets mislabeled from the warehouse to a next destination, it's gonna it slaps a sticker on it, so it could say it's a microwave, but it's really a heat press, and the sticker that labels on it says what it's supposed to be. But if that label is wrong for any reason, then it's gonna basically be sent to the wrong place or the wrong item, something like that. But mostly anything that goes wrong, like as far as that business wise, is because of from transporting it from warehouse to consumer, somehow in a mishap, either somebody printed the wrong label, somebody was not paying attention and put the two boxes in the wrong drop, and it just ended up going to the wrong person or even the wrong house.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that anybody that does this type of business and you depend on deliveries. I mean, the postal service, Amazon, FedEx, UPS. That's why, like, when you, like, for example, by me launching my business, I got to make sure I got enough stuff to cover orders, because I can't depend on the ship. Because especially if you're, so when you're doing custom stuff, it's good to have like a little window for yourself to, if let's say they want to order, like, let's say a certain color shirt, you gotta give yourself enough window to get that certain color shirt, but also enough window for you to not be like overwhelmed with a whole bunch of work. So normally, like, what I'll probably do, it'll probably be available 2 to 5 days, and it'll get to your house. Now, obviously, I'm gonna try to ship it out the next day, but if you're doing everything yourself, and let's say you get to the point where you're doing like 30 shirts a day, it's gonna be kind of hard sending out the newer orders coming through, the next business day. So you got to give yourself enough window time, and that's why I mentioned that shipping thing. It was funny, and I hope the person got her heat press for free, and I'm hoping her daughter is good. But the reason why I mentioned that is that you got to make sure you always have enough supply on hand, and that's the thing that I'm working on now, is getting enough supplies. So when I do launch, I know I can't really be depending. Like, I know I'm not going to be depending on, like, what's it called, the delivery. And then once I get low stock, I'll order a whole bunch. Because last thing you don't want to do is order something and you really need it for your business right there and then, and something like that happens, or it gets shipped to the wrong house. I've had that happen to me a few times, where I got shipped to the wrong house, or it got, in my favorite one, it got like lost in transit, and now you got to wait a couple of days for the company to contact whoever shipped it from, and then they're gonna find out where it is and refund. And especially when you have a business, I mean, what are you gonna tell your customer? Because the customer's not gonna wait for you; they're just gonna go somewhere else. And you could have lost. That one customer could have bought one item for you, and if, let's say, they liked your product, you could have lost, a huge order from that customer in the future. So you really got to be careful when it comes to the shipping, and when you're launching your business, you got to make sure you can get this stuff. If, let's say, you can't get it, let's say you need to get something right there and then, know the stores near you. For me, I got Michael's, Joann, and Hobby Lobby, so I can go get shirts if I need it right there and then. And then if whatever I'm selling, if, let's say, mugs or something, I know I can go to those stores and grab a few mugs just in case I can't wait on the shipping. And when it comes with tumblers, there's no one in my area. So once I get big into selling tumblers, I gotta make sure I have tumblers stacked up so I don't have to run into that. Then once I get low, then I can order I can do like a huge order of tumblers, and I don't have to worry about customers waiting for those tumblers for me to get them and customize them. So you gotta really factor your shipping and how fast can you bring that product to the customer.
Yeah, definitely. And like, one thing I'm thinking about doing for like my business is I'm not gonna, like you say, do a 2 to 5 business day, because it's custom work, so it does take time. So one thing I feel like, if I was to buy something, I would rather it be, if it's, let's say it is going to take 14 days to come to me, if it shows up earlier, I'm going to be more excited than as if it showed up later. So I'd rather give them an initial longer shipping period and then send it out early, so that way they feel like it got sent out quicker. You actually like took that process and stuff. And shipping is one thing that a lot of businesses have a problem with. And just like you said, having the on hands, just having all the product. If you're not able to produce the quality and quantity that they want, then that's going to be hard for your business.
And I just thought about it too. See, this is good, the network, when you guys are starting a business, because how about, lost entrepreneur, let's say you're like, man, I need some prints, ASAP. And you can come to me and be like, yo, can you print out some prints for me, So by us having that communication, we can help each other out. Maybe, I need something from him, and I'm like, yo, can you do this really quick? I need it. So it's good to have people that are going to have your back, because these companies in shipping, they're not going to have your back. They're not going to go out of the way to help your business, because they're working a 9 to 5. They can care less about your business. But I care about Lost Entrepreneur business. He's going to care about my business, and we're going to care about everybody else that wants to be part of this. We're going to look out for you. That's how it is. Looking out for people. You know what I mean? So let's say you need something from me, you need it ASAP, because let's say Supercolor, they're overpacked, but you need this print for something. Having that connection, it's going to help each other out. You know what I mean? Instead of us going against each other, be like, no, I'm going to be better than you. No, it's good to help each other out, because that's how everybody's going to succeed. That's how everybody's going to get out of that struggle and actually make money. You know what I mean? And just helping each other out, and that's why, I want to be able to find more people like that, that know our struggles and know what it needs to take to get to that next step. And it's all about just helping each other out and having that communication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do you feel like you have that? Like, if you need something really quick, do you feel like, okay, I can go to, this person and he's going to have my back, instead of, treating me like, like a regular customer, he's going to actually have my back? Do you know anybody like that?
Yeah, I know a couple people, but after this little conversation, sadly, I do have to get going, but I'm going to wrap it up after this. Your question was, do I have anybody who I can rely on when I talk to when I first started this t-shirt business?
Like right now, like if let's say you need some prints and you can't wait on like Supercolor, do you know someone that you can be like, okay, I know I can contact this person and he's gonna have the shipment set out the next day or something?
Yeah, I could go to Bear Prints. I got a couple Facebook groups.
That's what.
Like I said, I could just go to Supercolor if I wanted to, but like you said, if I am not able to go to them, I have other options. I have my sublimation printer, but there is also local shops around here that I could possibly go to that may print out something at a certain point, but I don't know how much they're going to be, and of course, because they're a local shop, it may be more. But the destination that I live in, because I'm in Daytona, Florida, I'm in like kind of a perfect location, because even if I do buy a shirt today, it's literally going to be within me, like into my area in a day or two. But I can also go drive and pick up a shirt from the actual warehouse that's selling the shirts, because they're only in Tampa and they're only in Orlando and they're down in Miami. So they're like 3 hours, 6 hours, whoever I want to go through. I found them on Instagram. I found one that's in Tampa. I found one in Orlando, and I found one in Miami. But once I started doing this, and if let's say I need some shirts, and I'm like, damn, somebody just placed 500 shirt order, and I only have 300. I can go to this place and tell them, listen, I need 200 of these sizes, and they can sell it to you blank, and they can sell it to you with a print on it or whatever. The place I found kind of does. They even do media. Like if you have a YouTube, they'll help you shoot your media stuff and all that. It's a real. Cool, I'll send you the link of what I found. I think they're located in Tampa, but they do a bunch of stuff like that.
Like I'm in Michigan, like close to Detroit, so I don't know if there's really anything around my area that has that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that bit, but I think where my area is, because Michigan's it's a big, I mean, it's a big state, and I think a lot of it is like more up north, and we're talking a couple of hour drive. So I'm definitely gonna have to find something. But yeah, you know, you say you got to get going.
Yeah, sadly, I got some stuff I gotta take care of. We've been on the live for a good about 2 hours going on now. We actually got it to work.
Wow,
At first, it was a little hiccup. I don't know how the first part of the quality is, but we figured it out.
Yeah,
We did our live. I want to thank Cosmos Graphics for joining me today. It was his idea to go live, and the next time we go live, we're going to try and do it on his channel. We're going to try and put it so our cameras are together and we're actually side by side instead of switching back and forth. This is all stuff we going to do in the future, and I just appreciate everybody who showed up, everybody who watched, everybody who's going to be watching if you didn't catch this live, and hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to let my boy Cosmo Graphics over there say his goodbyes, but from the Lost Entrepreneur right now, after he says his goodbyes, we out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Yeah, I want to appreciate everybody that came on. Hopefully, it's kind of cool to hang out with you, and I definitely want to do this, when we can. And I hope, anybody that wanted to get into this business, hopefully you kind of learn something. I mean, we're still learning. I mean, I'm still learning. Every day you're still learning. But with me being in this business for 1 year, 4 months, I'm hoping with that knowledge that I attained with that, since then, hopefully I was able to apply to if anybody wants to get into it. And again, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure things out. But it's not, like I might say this, it's not hard to get into it. It's just dedication. And you got to be willing to be dedicated to get into your own business, be able to invest and sacrifice. You don't have to go out to eat all the time. You don't have to, buy the new shoes that just came out, because you're always wanting something. That's the thing. Once you get your PlayStation, now you want games. Now you want this. Once you get that shoes, now you want, to get, maybe a certain outfit that goes with that shoes. No, just invest a little bit into your business. Once you get a lot of the equipment, then it's okay to spoil yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do that. I'll spoil myself a little bit, but never lose track of your investment into your business, because the last thing you don't want is you losing a lot of money, and that is something that no one wants. So, but I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you, and I appreciate you for having me on Lost Entrepreneur.
No problem, man. Anytime. Again, appreciate everybody who watched. Appreciate everybody who's going to. And if you're starting your own business or anything, don't be afraid to take that first step. Just do it, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Keep that tunnel vision, stay positive, and just do what you got to do. At the end of the day, it's you against the world.
Yeah, got one more thing before we go. So I'm thinking the next live show, do you want to each of us do a shirt?
Yeah, we can do a shirt. See how your print methods are, and then show them how my print methods are. And
how about the next show? I'll do the shirt that I want to do for you. I'll do it live on our next live show. So
that sounds good.
You want? Yeah. Okay. Because I kind of have the design. Kind of represents my business a little bit, and it represents you a little bit. You know what I mean? But I'll show it. I'm gonna show it to you on that next live, and I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Definitely. So the next live, we can press the shirts. You'll press a shirt.
Yeah,
I'll press a shirt.
Heat press ready and everything. Yeah, so I can get the heat press ready and everything like that for sure. Yeah,
we'll definitely show everybody the different ways of pressing it, and you can go into detail of how you're doing it and explain it to them. And I'll do it the same with mine, because yours is different, and everybody has their own process. But maybe what you do can help somebody.
For sure, yeah. That's why we're on here, and that's why we're trying to connect with everybody else because we can learn from them too. You know, for sure.
For sure.
All right, so I'm guessing we're done. Thank you guys for viewing, and we'll see you. Catch you on the next live.
Catch you guys later.
All right, guys. Peace out.